Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my sketchbook, a place where you can make mistakes and don't have to fix them. So, I'm holding in my hand here something given to me by my favorite person in the universe. This is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles by Hello Kitty and Friends crossover McDonald's Happy Meal toy. Now, what's interesting about this is Kuromi dressed up as Raphael the Ninja Turtle. In fact, we're also all green, which is kind of cool. Little tail, little shell. It looks pretty cool. I'll tell you this much. I don't really think this is a toy, though. Like, it has no movable, I guess, choke hazards. But regardless, it's in a pose. It's kind of neat. I went out yesterday, or I should say after, and I got another Happy Meal toy, but I made sure I got this. Now, I did no research on this stuff when I was given the little Kuromi action figure, and I see these two characters that would come on the box here. This is Raphael, this is Hello Kitty. So I found out what toys they actually do have as well. And this is a Hello Kitty as Raphael. And how cool is that? That's kind of what I would expect Raphael to be. I don't really know why there is another Raphael and this one as Kuromi. I bought another toy because they sell them individually. This is My Melody, and Kuromi is kind of like the, I would say the anti, I don't even know what you want to call the relationship that these two have. I would think that this is the antagonist right here to that one. Not that that matters too much, but I wouldn't have chosen Kuromi to be a Raphael. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a doodle of this, and I don't know where to put this. I'll just set it off to one side, move this out of the way. Although, I do think that's kind of neat. Open up my inkwell over here. Grab my sketchbook fountain pen or desk pen. I'm just going to kind of doodle something here in the way that I would doodle it. So I guess this would be kind of the third drawing that I would do of Kuromi. I'll start by doing the eyes, which isn't a typical way to do these things, but it's how I like to do stuff in my sketchbook when I'm just kind of goofing off. They're kind of the window to the soul, maybe, I don't know. Kind of space them apart a little bit here, too. Now, something like that. Now, next thing on my list of things to do is I'm going to kind of center the face a little bit with a little shadow nose. Like this, for kind of like a widow's peak. Now, of course, Kuromi has a skull here. And I'm going to do semi-sinister eyes. Now I know that looks kind of like a squid maybe. Well, let's kind of square it up a little bit. Not that that matters too much. And we'll go a little bit wider if we need to. We'll do finer detail things kind of after the fact. And maybe I should be going a lot quicker here just to get the idea down on paper. Something like that. I think the next thing to figure out is this. A little something like that. And doing that for symmetry's sake, maybe to try to keep something in some kind of order. That looks okay. You may sort of recognize what I'm up to. I'm thinking in my head that Kuromi should not be Raphael. I know it's not a decision that I would have wanted to make, and maybe Happy Meal toys don't necessarily need a villain. Not that I'm saying that Kuromi is a villain. Kuromi is supposed to be something like 5 years old or something in that neighborhood. There's that. I'm doing kind of a stylized helmet here. Next, we can't have Kuromi without this specialized jester hat. I'm sure you recognize what I've done. A little something like that. Let's go with the bottom part of the jester hat. Kind of a cowl, kind of like Batman's cowl. How about that? So a little like this, but in our case, we're going to kind of turn this into, let's say, like the cape, part of the cape. So we have that. We have the hat. You know what? I think we also need to put in massive shoulder pads. We don't have lots of room because, well, this is kind of a small creature. Do one on that side. They're not really like a big-bodied creature. Something like that. I think I'm going to go out to there. See if that'll lock down. Again, not a lot of room. Kind of huge claw here. I don't know if that's the best sort of idea to have Kuromi as, well, this is Shredder. And I say that because, well, I don't know what kind of toy that would end up being. That's funny. I don't know. I didn't really think that one through. Oh. Again, like I said, I don't know if it would be necessary for a Happy Meal to have a villain. And because I'm doing this all in ink and no real pencil drawing, well, I didn't do a pencil drawing beforehand. I'm trying to think of where I want things to be without too much overlap. Oh yeah, the bottom part of the sort of the tunic kind of styled thing that Shredder wears. Kind of like a little knee pad here, maybe. It's got to be one of the most uncomfortable outfits to just move around in. Not that I'm super concerned of what Shredder does, but you have to be considerate to yourself. Okay. This side here, let's go with the leg a little more. Turned out that way. Something like that. I did say yes, a cape. So let's have the cape go. If that's it there. Have a little bit of dramatic wind effect going on. And of course the other bonus would be you have to have this strange little tail. Now I think it would probably suit me best. I'll dip the pen here just to get a little bit more of this ink out here. So I kind of talked myself out of the concept of maybe Kuromi should have been Shredder, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm sure they could come up with soft claws because, yeah, I don't know. I don't think Kuromi should be Raphael. There's two Raphaels. I don't even know what other characters I guess are available. Like I said, I didn't do any research with this, so it's possible that there are doubled characters for all of them. And I guess I also now kind of realize that Hello Kitty is not green. So I wonder if there's a set of all green turtles, of which Kuromi is a part of, or, well, I don't know. I have 3 of the figures. Okay, that's the rough idea. Next, because this is what I like to do, I'm grabbing my detail brush and some water. I'm going to start here at the top. I'm just going to fill this in just a little bit. Which is something I do instead of a lot of cross-hatching. Nothing wrong with cross-hatching. I should practice it more. So if you cross-hatch, that is awesome. It's funny, I know, and perhaps you would have heard me ramble on about this in other videos, I know people that can cross-hatch quite well. It's a beautiful art form. Oh, you know what? I actually would like to say that I would like to have a Kuromi shredder. I don't know if it would be available as a, anyway, I'll do some research. I don't know if there is a Shredder action figure with McDonald's toys or not. That would be funny to find that out. And here I am semi-bad-mouthing the creative team at McDonald's for not including. Although I will say I'm unimpressed that this is not really a toy, being that it's not a posable, super articulated action figure. Instead, it's just some sort of posed figurine, which I think is kind of lame and kind of cool all at the same time. If you get it in a cool pose, like I don't play with toys like this, or in general. I do have like action figures around or Lego and that sort of thing. I don't really sit around playing with Lego. So I guess they are collectible figurines, but anyway, I would think if you were a kid and you got like a Happy Meal toy, you'd want to, you know, create little scenarios and stuff. Where are we at? 16 minutes. Let's do this sash around the waist of Kuromi. Take care of this little tail off to one side. Yeah. Last thing, I'm just cleaning the brush. We'll get back in here, dip away, and we'll put the detail back in with some outlining. Starting at the top where hopefully the paper absorbed a little bit of that water, so it's not going to be as soggy up here. I don't put huge amounts of water in my shadow workings. Okay. Outline. I don't have to do a lot on the inside. I will kind of put a little bit in here. And maybe you'll do something with the eyes as well. Put some creases back in, down here. Go back to the dramatic claw. So Shredder is the leader of a group that's called the Foot, which is kind of, well, I don't know if it's an homage, maybe it is an homage, to characters that you might find in the Marvel universe. That would be kind of the antagonistic group with the Daredevil comic. They would be called the Hand. At least that's my understanding, that that's sort of where the idea for this group came from. Create some shadow underneath here. Shadow back here against the cape. Dark line that. We don't have to go for full-on detailed stuff here. This is an idea back here. For those who know that this is a tail, that this bunny rabbit has. Trace out this claw. Same on this side. Now for fun, let's kind of add in the background here, which should be another uncomfortable bit of shoulder pad. Okay. I don't think we need to go that much further. Some shadow work there. Some shadow work down here too, so let's make a shadow back here. The cape. We're not really going to have a lot of shadow from up above. Don't have to have all the details, but let's have that. Okay. I think that's kind of the run of it. I'll blur that with a little water as well. Clean that brush. We're at 22 minutes roughly. And last thing, just because I think that's kind of interesting. Anyway, let us make a quick little mess. Oh, you know what? Let's make this into a little heart. Oh, that's adorbs. Yeah. Then over here. It's kind of dramatic, don't you think? It's kind of scratched in. Letters. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it. I don't know if there's any other things that needs. Let's get a quick look at this Kuromi action figure, but not an action figure. I think that does the Kuromi character reasonably well as Shredder. It is kind of a neat thing, and maybe that'll just sit on my desk for a bit, but I would very much consider having the Shredder version of Kuromi. I guess that's what that is. Anyway, folks, thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful day, and hopefully see you again in the near future. Ciao for now.